Hey guys, today I'm here with my July wrap-up. Now, the month of July wasn't the best reading month. I read 7 books, but I was taking a summer class, so considering that, I think 7 is a really good amount. Mostly I read contemporary because I find contemporaries easy to get through, and since I was bogged down by my class, I figured it was a nice break. So I have 7 books to show you, so let's go ahead and get started. The first book I read in July was The Boy Next Door by Katie Van Ark. This is about a figure skater named Maddie who falls in love with her figure skating partner Gabe, but she doesn't want to mess anything up with their on-ice partnership, so she kind of hides her feelings and everything. And I thought it was really cute. I wasn't the biggest fan of the characters. I really liked the figure skating storyline of it though, because I'm a big fan of figure skating. So I found myself enjoying those parts more than the actual romance part, but overall I enjoyed it and I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was The Book of Broken Hearts by Sarah Auckler. This is my 4th Sarah Auckler book I've read. It was not my favorite. My favorite is still Fixing Delilah. But I enjoyed this one a lot. It's about a girl named Jude whose father has Alzheimer's. She's helping him fix up his old motorcycle, hoping that it'll, make him better. She meets a guy named Emilio who she's been warned by her sisters to stay away from him and any of his family because his brothers have broken her sister's hearts in the past. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was A Million Miles Away by Laura Avery. This is about 2 twins, Kelsey and Michelle is dating a soldier. They haven't been dating for very long, and he gets deployed to Afghanistan, and then Michelle dies in a car crash. So Kelsey wants to tell him that she's died, but she doesn't have the heart to do it, so she pretends to be Michelle, and of course, with something like that, it's going to be a heart-wrenching book, and it definitely was. But I really, really liked it. The only problem I had with it was it's told in 3rd person, and I do not like contemporaries in 3rd person. I just feel like they don't really make a lot of sense because it was just from one perspective, from the main character's perspective, so I don't know why it had to be written in 3rd person. You could have easily switched it to 1st person and it would have made just as much sense, and it was a little hard to get into at first. But overall, I really, really liked this book, and I gave it 4.75 out of 5. The next book I read was Scintillate by Tracy Clark. This is about a girl named Cora, and she gets sick one night, and when she gets over her sickness, she realizes that she can see auras on people, and she doesn't know why this is happening, but she does know her mother, who disappeared back when she was 5 years old, had something to do with it. So she travels to Ireland to try to figure all this out, and she meets a guy named Finn, who is an Irish exchange student at her school, and there's a romance involved between them. And I really liked this book a lot. It was surprised me because I wasn't expecting anything out of it. I just found it on Book Outlet for 75 cents or something, and so I bought it. It's the first in a trilogy, so I'm excited to read the next 2 and see where the story goes. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. The next book I read was Belladonna by Fiona Paul. It's the sequel to Venom, which I read last month. And I really, really liked this book. It's set in Florence, mostly not Venice like the first one. But I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as the first one, but I really, really, really loved it. And it ended on a cliffhanger. And I have the 3rd book, and I'm holding off reading it until book 2-a-thon because it fits one of the challenges. And I'm dying to read it to find out what happens. But yes, I definitely would recommend this series. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. The next book I read was Written in the Stars by Aisha Said. This follows a girl who is forced into an arranged marriage, and she's in Pakistan, and that's part of the culture is they arrange marriages, but her parents force her into this marriage instead of just actually being arranged mutually between the two. And it was really interesting. I love reading about different cultures and everything. And so I really enjoyed it a lot, and I give it a 4.5 out of 5. And the last book I read was definitely the most disappointing book of the month, and that was Breakable by Tamara Weber. This is a companion to Easy. It's told from the male love interest perspective, and I just really didn't like his perspective that much. I had a hard time. It alternates between past and present, and I didn't really enjoy the past chapters at all, and the present was just basically a retelling of the first book. And I don't know why, I just didn't really like Lucas's voice in this book, and I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. So that's all the books I read in the month of July. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye!